The housing market just triggered the same warning signal that preceded the 2008 financial crisis, but this time, the data shows something potentially far worse is coming. Home prices have reached 299.9 on the inflation-adjusted Case-Shiller Index, the highest in U.S. history, and 12.5% higher than the 2006 bubble peak of 266.4. While new home inventory has climbed to 7.4 months of supply and foreclosure filings have surged 17% year over year for 6 consecutive months. When we analyzed the latest housing data from August and September 2025, we discovered something that should concern every home buyer, investor, and homeowner in America. The convergence of metrics we're seeing right now mirrors the exact warning signals that appeared before the 2008 collapse, with one critical difference. This time, the fundamentals suggest the potential for something even more devastating. Let us walk you through the data that's keeping housing economists awake at night. The median home price has reached $413,500 as of August 2025, a staggering 60% increase in just 6 years. To put this in perspective, the typical American household now needs to spend 44.6% of their income just to afford the median-priced home. That's nearly 50% above the recommended 30% threshold that financial experts consider sustainable. Here's the number that should terrify every policymaker. Nearly 75% of U.S. households cannot afford a median-priced new home. The minimum income required? $141,366. As one Zillow analyst recently stated, even a 0% interest rate wouldn't make homes affordable in many markets. The price-to-income ratio has reached 5 times the median household income, near historic highs that signal extreme market distortion. When homes cost 5 times what families earn, you're not looking at a healthy market correction ahead. You're looking at a market that is fundamentally broken away from economic reality. Current 30-year mortgage rates are hovering between 6.09 and 6.37% as of October 2025. The average monthly mortgage payment for recent home buyers has hit $2,225, the highest since at least 2008. But here's the truly alarming statistic. Recent movers are paying $648 more per month than those who moved just 5 years ago. That's a 41.1% increase, representing the largest payment gap since the 2008 crisis. This payment shock isn't just affecting first-time buyers. It's creating a lock-in effect where existing homeowners with 2 to 3% rates from 2020 to 2021 simply can't afford to move, artificially constraining supply and creating market distortions that'll take years to resolve. New home inventory has reached 490,000 homes as of August 2025, the highest level since 2007. While months of supply dropped from 9 to 7.4 between July and August, this level still represents a dramatic oversupply compared to historical norms. Housing starts are down 6% year over year, and building permits have plummeted 11.1% from August 2024. Builders are pulling back dramatically, with unsold completed homes reaching 82,000 units in May 2025, the highest since July 2009. When we examine builder sentiment, the housing market index sits at just 37 in October 2025. Anything below 50 indicates pessimism among builders. This isn't just caution, this is an industry in retreat. Please take 2 seconds to help us out and hit the like and subscribe if you find this video interesting so far. Each like, subscribe, and share helps support this channel and keeps us motivated to keep making you great content. Thank you. Now, let's continue. Foreclosure filings reached 101,513 properties in Q3 2025, up 17% year over year. Foreclosure starts have increased 16% annually, with 72,317 properties entering foreclosure in the third quarter alone. Bank repossessions have surged 33% year over year. This represents 6 consecutive months of year-over-year foreclosure increases through August 2025. When you combine this with credit card delinquencies at 3.5% and student loan delinquencies at 20%, up from 2.8% and 17% respectively in 2022, you're seeing early warning signs of broader financial distress. The most telling evidence comes from specific regional markets that are already experiencing the kind of price corrections that historically spread nationwide. Phoenix, Arizona has seen prices drop 15.1% year over year, with inventory up 114%. Cape Coral, Florida is experiencing price declines of 17 to 24% in some neighborhoods, with inventory tripling. Austin, Texas is undergoing significant price corrections, while Florida statewide shows a minus 3.1% annual price decline with over 182,000 active listings. Arizona leads the correction with 36.8% of homes showing price cuts. Colorado, Nevada, and Utah all show price-to-income ratios above 5, with widespread price reductions taking effect. When we compare today's metrics to 2008, the similarities are undeniable. But the differences suggest we could be facing something worse. The debt-to-income ratio has reached 40.5%, with FHA loans at 45.1%. These levels are approaching the 43% ratio we saw in 2008. However, this time we don't have the subprime lending crisis or the massive over-leveraging of financial institutions. What we do have is a market where prices have detached from income reality to a degree that exceeds even the 2006 bubble. The inflation-adjusted Case-Shiller Index at 299.9 represents the biggest housing bubble in American history, 67% above long-term norms. Perhaps the most concerning indicator is what's happening with homebuilders. 38% of builders are cutting prices in October 2025, with average reductions of 6%. Major builders like KB Home have canceled 9,700 lots, signaling a dramatic pullback in future supply. When builders retreat this aggressively, it creates a supply shock that can destabilize markets for years. New construction is down 11.7%, with permits down 11.5%. This isn't a temporary slowdown. This is an industry in full defensive mode. While the media focuses on housing statistics, the real warning signals are coming from corporate boardrooms across America. Major companies are quietly telegraphing a housing market collapse through their earnings calls and strategic decisions. D.R. Horton, America's largest home builder, reported net sales orders down 15% to 22,437 homes in Q2 2025, with order values plummeting 17% to $8.4 billion. CEO David Auld warned that the 2025 spring selling season started slower than expected due to continued affordability constraints and declining consumer confidence. By Q3, the company's net income crashed 24% to $1 billion, while home sales gross margins compressed under mounting incentive pressure. Lennar Corporation saw earnings per share collapse from $3.45 to $1.81 in Q2 2025, a devastating 48% decline. Average sale prices fell to $389,000 as the company drove volume through aggressive incentives. CFO Diane Dessette acknowledged the company was pricing homes to market conditions while generating negative cash flow, a clear sign of desperation. The retail sector is flashing even brighter warning signals. Home Depot's same-store sales turned negative again in Q1 2025, dropping 0.3% after briefly going positive in Q4 2024. Store traffic plummeted 4.2% in Q2, while big-ticket purchases over $1,000 continued declining. When Americans stop investing in their homes, it signals deep confidence erosion. Perhaps most telling is the insurance exodus. State Farm stopped writing new homeowner policies in California. Farmers Insurance withdrew from Florida entirely. Multiple carriers are refusing to underwrite properties in markets they consider fundamentally overvalued. These corporate decisions aren't random. They represent billions of dollars in calculated withdrawals from a housing market that sophisticated analysts believe is heading for a historic correction. The housing market is showing signs of seizure that go beyond normal cyclical adjustments. Nearly 15% of home purchase contracts fell through in June 2025, the highest rate since records began in 2017. Homes are sitting on the market for 28 days before selling, up from 24 days a year ago. Total housing inventory has increased to 1,550,000 units as of September 2025. While this remains below 2008 levels, the rapid pace of increase combined with buyer retreat creates conditions for accelerating price corrections. Expert forecasts show Zillow projecting a minus 1.7% decline from March 2025 to March 2026. National projections suggest modest growth of 0.5% to 4% in 2026, but these estimates assume continued economic stability and employment levels that current trends don't support. The Federal Reserve has completed 2 rate cuts in 2025, with more expected, but Mortgage rates are expected to remain in the 6 to 7% range through 2025, possibly dropping to 5.9% by end of 2026. This timeline assumes no economic disruption, an assumption that current housing market distress makes increasingly questionable. If you're a home buyer, understand that we're in a market where normal rules don't apply. Affordability has reached crisis levels that historically precede major corrections. If you're in markets like Phoenix, Florida, or Austin, you're already seeing the beginning of what could spread nationwide. For investors, the data suggests a period of significant market adjustment ahead. The combination of builder retreat, rising foreclosures, and affordability crisis creates conditions where patient capital will find opportunities, but speculative investment face serious risk. For current homeowners, the rate lock-in effect provides some protection, but regional variations mean your local market could experience corrections even if national averages remain stable. The warning signals are clear, the data is verified, and the pattern matches historical precedents for major market disruptions. The question isn't whether adjustment is coming, it's how severe that adjustment will be and which markets will experience it first. What are you seeing in your local market? Drop a comment below with your observations, because the real story of this housing crisis is being written in neighborhoods across America right now. If you found this video interesting, please subscribe, share, and watch this one as well.